back at that data, adjust, figure out the pacing, and just take the experience for what it is. On to section 5 now of 6. This boys 2 mile for the middle schoolers. It's going to be Avery Clinton Barnett, Asher Eckel, Trevor Sullivan, Patricio Pardo, Hamza Salahuddin, William Wormus, Dathan Haberstroh, Cade Lambert, Matthew Kerwan, Cruz Cisneros, Lucas Thomas, Lachlan Bernarski, Asher Wrigley, Remington Moreland, Brantley Blair, Alex Grimm, Edwin Rodriguez, and Mason Shanahan. Once again, a full field here. 19 athletes toeing the line.
I like the aggression so far from Haberstroh of Bentonville, Arkansas. Of course, that is a storied program in the state of Arkansas. Has had success year in and year out, not only at their state level, but also at the regional, and then, of course, going to the national level during the cross-country season. And I also like the response of 2 other boys going right with him and not being afraid here to test their limits.
As you mentioned, out of section 2, the bar has been set at 9:58. And it started off with a 71-second lap, and we've done the exact same thing here. Dathan Haberstroh, Brantley Bear out of Indiana, and Avery Clinton Barnett. A couple seconds clear of the field. But look at, I believe, Pardo, Patricio Pardo there in 4th going, hey, wait for me, guys, I'm coming too. Joining that lead pack, make it 4 out in front as we start to settle in now. They saw the recipe from Andrew Banch, who kicked things off with his 71-second lap. They even went a couple of tenths quicker. Dathan Haberstroh, as you said, Bentonville, Arkansas, great program, and not a bad first name for a distance runner either. Dathan Haberstroh. But our top 4 settling in here, coming into the home stretch for the second time.
Well, I'm sure that's a running family if his name is Dathan, that's for sure. Of course, Dathan Ritzenheim, one of the great American distance runners, and now the head coach of On Athletics Club based in Boulder, Colorado. And, of course, he also has a very, very talented daughter in Addie Ritzenheim, who's going to be having her senior season come up here pretty soon and off to northern Arizona in the next couple of years.
Haberstroh settling into 2nd now. That was a 76-second lap. And following just about the exact playbook that Andrew Banch followed to go sub-10. And there's Brantley Blair now with a bit of pace injecting. I like seeing Patricio Pardo there. He has responded to every move. He maybe fell asleep a little bit on that first lap, said, wait a second, I need to be up there with the leaders. I know my fitness. And he's doing the exact same thing here, seeing Brantley Blair make a move and not letting it get too far out in front. So keep an eye on Patricio Pardo, looking pretty comfortable settling in there as the pack now coming back. And Dathan Haberstroh in the white and black.
The thing about Pardo, too, is he's not a very tall individual, and so his strides are not going to be as long as the other guys that are around him right now. So I'm not saying he has to work it twice as hard as the rest of the guys do, but he definitely has to, take a couple bit more steps than, what the other athletes around him with their stride length.
View there of iconic Franklin Field set here on the campus of UPenn. So many great races over the years at these nationals, as well as the iconic Penn relays, of course. New Balance putting on a great meet here year after year, giving opportunities for these national championships all the way down to the middle schoolers. As we see here, Pardo now leading with Dathan there in 2nd, Haberstroh. But nobody giving any quarter. Haberstroh, a look at determination on his face. We've had multiple lead changes. Dare I say more than we've seen in our early sections, as the top 3 now starting to fall away. Brantley Blair had made a big move, but it may have been too much too early, as Haberstroh is looking pretty comfortable. Pardo right there with him. Avery Clinton Barnett in the mix as well.
That's what you like to see, too, with these races. You like to see the different stories that develop throughout these races, the different changes of leads, and you'll see Haberstroh lead a lap. You'll see Pardo lead a lap. Maybe even Clinton Barnett will lead a lap here. There's a lot of parity that involves in a 2-mile race, and it's unfolding right here in this one.
4:58 high through the 1,618 meters, so just a tick over a full mile. And they are well on pace for a sub 10-minute clocking. Again, almost to a T following what Andrew Banch did. He came through in 4:58.95. They come through in 4:58.84. How about that? Haberstroh not letting this pace lag at all. Right in that 75, 76 second lap range.
Starting to tighten up a little bit, though, Trevor. You can see it on his shoulders, and you can see a little grimace on his face that, maybe, it looks like he's running pretty relaxed. Maybe not necessarily a fast pace for him, but if he loosens up a little bit, it could help him out here in this latter half.
In these longer races, we talked about the patience, the opportunity to make moves, but it also really just magnifies any sort of little thing that you do. So as you said, a little bit of tightness in the shoulders, a little bit of clenching of the jaw, that adds up over 8 laps plus. But Haberstroh, he's mixed it up with some great athletes. Took part, I should say, in that Hoka Festival of Miles a couple of weeks back. Ran 4:44.01 for the full mile. So he has taken to the track with some good competition. He would love to get the win here. Haberstroh running second as Avery Clinton Barnett now making a move. The Oxford.
Again, so much happening within the last couple of laps. You see Haberstroh lead a lap. You see Pardo lead a lap. Now we have Clinton Barnett leading a lap here. So as we continue to go along in this one, and maybe Clinton Barnett is the one that makes that move and starts to pull away, decisions are going to be made here with a little about under a K to go now in this 2-mile.
Avery Clinton Barnett out of Oxford, Michigan. Haberstroh representing for Arkansas. Patricio Pardo out of Bethesda, Maryland. So it is a multi-state affair here. We've seen moves work and crack the race wide open, and we've seen moves be a bit too audacious and come right back to the field. So Haberstroh still plugging away, but 76 seconds on that lap for Avery Clinton Barnett. Haberstroh 78, Pardo right there as well, with just under 800 meters now.
And now the racing begins. Now we're starting to see the decision has been made by Clinton Barnett that he is going to go for it here with over 2 laps remaining, or I should say under 2 laps remaining, and really put a separation on him in the rest of the field. Although a nice little surge here from Haberstroh, trying to see if he can reel him in here with 600 meters to go. But really at this point, Avery Clinton Barnett, this is his race for the taking.
A very well-timed move from the Michigan native. He's run 10:10 for 3,200 meters, but hasn't seemed to contest the 2-mile race very often. So he's looking for this opportunity, and again, bragging rights to say, I ran under 10 minutes for a full 2 miles. He is well on track to do just that. Avery Clinton Barnett will take the bell. He has cracked this thing wide open. Oh no, did he think that was it? He may have misjudged, but sometimes it works out anyway. It looked like he hesitated at the bell, thinking he may have been done, but he's got a very significant lead now if he can hang on.
And that was a 72-second last lap for Clinton Barnett. And again, not necessarily saying he's looking at the clock, but you got to assume, yeah, I probably did not break 9 minutes in this full 2-mile.
Well, he is going to go to the well and beyond, and it'll be a lesson either way if he's able to hang on here for that sub 10-minute clocking. Coach will absolutely love it. Maybe give him a good-natured ribbing. But if he fades, then he'll learn that lesson as well. Paying attention to the lap counter and the time on the clock as well, but he is still so far out in front. Haberstroh is going to have his work cut out for him in the final stretches here. Avery Clinton Barnett trying to finish strong here Dathan Haberstraw, we've talked about him all race, digging deep, taking advantage, going wide. It will be just outside of 10 minutes, but what a win here from Dathan Haberstraw. And the agony of defeat for Avery Clinton Barnett, but he has no reason to hang his head, even if he did misjudge those final couple of laps. He had to go deep into his reserve. Still a 78-second lap, but like you said, 72 seconds on the penultimate there. Maybe just misjudged it. 10:03.41 for Haberstraw on the win. 10:04.94, still a nice personal best for Avery Clinton Barnett. But boy, that's doing it the hard way.
It's tough. That's a tough one to shake off. I don't know if it's necessarily on him to misjudge, or maybe the officials said that he had 2 laps to go. But again, there's a lot to take from this one. Again, you don't necessarily want to look at the clock throughout the entire race, but you look up at the clock and see under 9 minutes, especially in this middle school race. You got to assume, I'm definitely not running under that pace for the full 2 mile. But I will give credit, though, to Haberstraw there for hanging tough there over the last 2 laps, because it appeared that both him and Pardo were starting to fall off pace with Clinton Barnett, and then that little bit of a surge. Maybe it was when Clinton Barnett kind of slowed up at the finish line when he thought it was the end of the race, then kind of sparked something in